Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, December 3, 2024. Approximately 11,200 housing solutions are targeted for development on lands owned by the Urban Development Corporation UDC as the government seeks to provide more affordable housing. These will be constructed in Negril, Westmoreland, Ocherius in St. Anne, and Helshaw, Brayton, and Caymanas Estate in St. Catherine. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness gave the details while addressing a UDC stakeholder breakfast meeting last week.
This is separate from the 70,000 housing solutions between the NHT and the Housing Agency of Jamaica and the new social housing project, which they are already underway in developing those housing solutions. So we are bringing essentially more than 10,000 housing solutions to the market through the UDC, and I'm pleased to announce that here today.
The Prime Minister says the UDC has been redirected in this area, adding that the Caymanas development has already gone to market, with procurement almost completed. According to Dr. Holness, the government is aware of the challenge of getting developers to build affordable housing that targets the underserved segment of the market.
Low income, you're looking at around minimum wage. Affordable, above minimum wage. Achievable, just below middle income. And that part of the market is underserved. So we are trying to find housing solutions below $10 million as the average, up to a maximum of $13 to $14 million as the ceiling. I think if you get housing within that sweet spot, then you begin to address the critical demand that exists in the society. This is now when you would start to serve, your hairdressers, your mechanics, your gardeners, your helpers, those persons who have not been served.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness is reiterating his charge for the UDC to accelerate the process of making underutilized lands owned by the agency available for business development. He urges the UDC to ensure that all properties are utilized in ways that support the private sector.
We know that the UDC itself will not be able to utilize all its assets internally, and therefore it must utilize the public-private partnership framework to have its assets utilized, or to divest them if they are not using the assets or if they are not of immediate strategic value. So in effect, I'm saying to our stakeholders in the private sector that you should sharpen your pencils and come with proposals. And the UDC will also be making requests for proposals to utilize underutilized, unutilized, or non-strategic assets for the UDC.
Prime Minister Holness says he is pleased that engagement of investors for the Raintree Commercial Complex in the Caymanas Estate area has begun. This, he asserts, will complement the development of the Special Economic Zone by the Port Authority, which comprises 60 acres. $750 million has been earmarked to purchase generators to power critical water pumping and treatment plants come next year. Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, says this is to support a more reliable and uninterrupted supply of water, especially during natural disasters. The decision to purchase generators was reinforced following the impact of Hurricane Beryl on the country's electricity grid, which affected the National Water Commission's ability to provide the commodity to critical institutions.
These facilities are critical or are being determined based on two factors. One, quite simply, which facilities supply hospitals, and two, which facilities ensure that the NWC earns for the month when there's a particular issue. So it has to be based on the scale of persons or the number of persons that are supplied by a particular system, as well as on the lines where you have hospitals.
Minister Samuda emphasizes that while $750 million is a start, it's also not enough, and encourages the private sector and other local and foreign organizations to assist. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining is finalizing draft legislation to repeal the Plant Quarantine Act and replace it with a comprehensive Plant Health Act. The current Plant Quarantine Act focuses on controlling the importation of plants, plant products, and articles that may threaten Jamaica's agriculture. But according to Portfolio Minister Floyd Green, the new Plant Health Act will adopt a more modern approach, aligning with international standards and addressing the overall health and regulation of seeds.
We've been at this for a little while, and I'm very happy that now we're at the final draft, which I do hope we'll be able to take to Cabinet in this month, in the month of December, and lay before Parliament before the end of the financial year in March.
Minister Green shared the update during the ministry's National Seed Policy Workshop at the Bodles Research Station in St. Catherine. He also highlighted that the ministry's Seed and Nursery Certification Unit had been developing reliable systems to certify seeds and nursery materials. This process, according to Minister Green, was addressing the poor seed quality concerns by farmers. In addition, the ministry will continue training and sensitization sessions for public and private nursery operators, as well as regulatory bodies to promote clean seed production practices and strengthen the sector. And finally, the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is urging parents and guardians to ensure their children use reputable and safe transportation services. This comes in the wake of a tragic motor vehicle crash in Clarendon yesterday, which claimed the lives of 2 Lennon High School students and left several others injured. In response, the ministry has activated trauma and grief counseling teams to provide immediate support to the affected families, students and staff of the institutions impacted. The ministry also extends heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased students, expressing solidarity with the Lennon High School community during this difficult time. It also strongly discourages the sharing of sensitive images and videos from the scene of the crash out of respect for the victims and their families. Transportation providers are being urged to strictly adhere to safety standards and regulations to prevent similar tragedies. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.